Hi guys, and welcome to my channel. Today I'll be making a traditional Good Friday meal. So in the small islands we call this Ducna or Ducana, and it's made with sweet potatoes, coconut and different spices. Okay, so I've got one dried coconut. I've already cracked and grated it on a box grater, and this comes out to be 2.5 cups of coconut. Then I have some sweet potatoes. These sometimes are called batata. I've seen them labeled as that in the States, or sweet potato. These are different from the orange sweet potatoes that come in a bag and they're labeled as sweet potatoes or yams. Okay, so that's my sweet potato. I've got 1/2 cup of brown sugar, 1 tablespoon of grated ginger, and a little bit of hot pepper. I'll be grating some fresh nutmeg. I'll be using 1/2 teaspoon of sea salt, 1/4 teaspoon of ground cinnamon, and then I'll be adding some almond essence, some vanilla essence for taste, and then I'll be adding 1.5 cups of flour. Normally in the islands we'll wrap it in banana leaf, but I'm using foil paper today. Okay, so let's get into this video. First I'm going to peel my potatoes and then grate them in a bowl. Okay, so once I'm done peeling, washing and grating the sweet potatoes, I'll be back. Okay, so I've grated 1.5 potato, and this is what the potato looks like. I'm just grating it on a box grater. It does turn brown. That's why I don't grate it before like I did the coconut. Okay, so I'm just going to finish grating this up, and then once I'm done I'll be back and we'll mix this together. Okay, so I'm done grating my potatoes. So it was about 2.5 pounds of sweet potato to 2.5 cups of coconut. That's the measurement I'm using. So I'm just going to add the coconut in. Okay, so that's 1/2 cup of brown sugar. And then for a little bit of heat, I'm not going to cut the hot pepper up, but I'm just going to put it in like that. I've got 1 tablespoon of freshly grated ginger. Just going to add my salt as well. So I'm using 1/2 teaspoon of salt. And 1/4 of a teaspoon of cinnamon. If you don't have to use almond extract or almond essence. You can just use vanilla, but I'm using about 1/4 teaspoon of each. Okay, and I'm going to grate some nutmeg. You can use the ground nutmeg, but I prefer using the whole one, and then I'll just grate some in. So I'm just using about 1/2 teaspoon of nutmeg. Okay. So I'm just going to mix this up. Okay, so what I'll do before I wrap all of them, I normally make a small tester to see if I need to add anything else. Okay, so now to add the flour. Okay, so that's 1 cup. I'm just going to also add some butter, not a lot, maybe about a teaspoon, because I am sharing this with my friend, and my godson has a dairy intolerance. I'm going to be using flour instead of butter. Okay, so just about a teaspoon. I'm not really good with cooking with measurements, so normally I just eyeball it. I don't add any type of water, but if you add too much flour, you can just add some water. So that's good consistency now. Okay, so I did do a small tester and I've added another 1/2 cup of flour, so that makes 2 cups of flour. The flavor was nice, so I'm not going to add any sugar, salt or anything. I'm just going to wrap these up. I'm using foil paper, as I did say before. Okay. So you don't want to make these too big. Okay, so that's a good size. Just going to turn these over. Okay. You want it to be a nice little packet wrapped tight, because we are cooking these in boiling water, so you don't want the water to get in and for them to get wet. Okay, so that's one done. I'm just going to wrap the others up. Okay, so that's them done now. Just going to put them on the board and then put them in the pot to cook for about 30 to 45 minutes. Okay, so let's go over to the stove. Okay, so I'm back. I just have a pot of boiling water. It's just plain water, nothing added. Just going to put these in. Cover the pot and I'll let them boil for about 45 minutes. I'm just going to show you how I debone my saltfish, and I'm also doing some spinach and okra to go on the side as well. I'm just going to show you now how I do the saltfish. So traditionally, Ducana is served with saltfish. I've got some saltfish that I soaked overnight. I've boiled it for 20 minutes and that's what it looks like. I'm just going to debone it now. Okay. I'm going to leave it in big chunks. I don't like when it's too minced up. As I said, you can use the one that's already pre-packaged. It's skinless and boneless. Call this saltfish, sometimes labeled as salted codfish or bacalao, but in the islands we just call this saltfish. So that's what the deboned saltfish looks like. Okay, so I'm just going to get my seasonings ready, and then I'll be back in the next clip. So I show you how I prepare those and then how I fry the saltfish up. Hi guys, and welcome back. So these are the seasonings I'll be using for my saltfish and my veg. So my veg, I'll be doing some spinach and okra. Okay, so I've washed these and I'm just letting them dry in a colander. And I've got some red sweet pepper, onion, tomatoes, fresh thyme, and a sprig of rosemary, 2 seasoned peppers, celery leaf, little bit of hot pepper, some fresh garlic, and some green onions. Okay, so let's chop these up. Let's push those to one side. Okay, just going to do the garlic. Just going to mince these up. Okay, and just the onion is left now. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to set some aside for my veg. Just going to chop these a little bit smaller. Okay, just the onion left to do. Okay, so see, my seasoning is done. That's the seasoning for my veggies, and then I've got my sliced seasonings here. So I'm just going to cook the saltfish up and we'll go over to the stove, and then I'll just do the veggies. Okay, so I'm back now. I'm just going to do the saltfish. I'm going to add some oil. You can use vegetable oil, coconut oil, whatever oil you like. I'm using sunflower oil. Just going to put enough to cover the bottom. And I'm just going to add the hot pepper while that's heating up. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to add some tomato puree. You can use ketchup, but I'm using puree in mine. Okay, so I'm just going to add the saltfish in. I'm just going to cover it and let it cook down for about 10 minutes. Done now. I'm just going to put this in a dish and then fry up the veggies. Okay, so now I'm just going to do the veggies. I'm going to be using some pure coconut oil blend to saute up the veggies. Okay, and these are the seasoning that I saved from when I cut them up for the saltfish. Just going to add some Himalayan pink salt. And some black pepper. Just gonna add our veggies. So that's the okra and spinach chopped up. It's a full pot, but it'll probably cook down to nothing, maybe about a third of this amount. Okay, I'm just going to cover it. Okay, so just going to give this a turn. Okay, I'm just gonna put this on low and let it steam for about 15 minutes. So when it's cooked, then I'll be back. Just checking on the greens now. I'm going to add a little bit of this Badia Sazon Complete because it still tastes fresh. Don't want it too salty, but just want it to have a little bit more seasoning. Okay, so I'm just gonna let this cook for about 5 more minutes and then it'll be done, and then we can plate up. Okay, so this is the veg. So we're just going to go and plate this dish up now. Okay, so everything is done cooking. This is the saltfish. Then I have my sauteed spinach and okra. And then I have my Ducana here. So we're just going to plate up now. Okay, so I've cooked these for 45 minutes. Okay. That's the Ducana done. Okay, so that's my Good Friday meal done. I've got my Ducana, my okra and spinach, and my sauteed saltfish. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and comment below. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!